Let's talk about doing a CMA, and this is one of the simplest ways that I like to do it. Once you practice, you can decide what you like doing best. I don't use the CMA function here, but you can get comfortable with it. And if you have any questions, you can click up here on the help button, and there are several options that you will see for taking a tutorial on how to learn how to do more. But in the meantime, let's click search and go to residential. And let's say we had somebody ask us, they want to know what the values in their neighborhood are, and they live in Pace and Hammersmith. So when you click search, your old search pops up. Easiest way to clear it is to go over here to the right and choose clear all. Okay, and in status, we want to look at the actives. We want to look at whatever was contingent, pending, and sold. Okay, and our customer lives in Hammersmith. So we're going to put in the name of their subdivision there. And you can watch and see how the number starts dropping as we narrow down our search criteria. And so we want to look at what has sold in the last 6 months. So we're going to go to status date, and the calendar pops up, and we're just going to go 6 months back. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to choose February 24th. Okay, we've got 16 homes that have sold in Hammersmith. Or actually, they could have sold, or they could be active, contingent, or pending. We've got 16 results. So let's look and see what this is. I like to click on status so that it organizes it, all of the actives first, then it'll show us all of the ones that are contingent and everything that has sold. So now I'm going to go over here to reports on the right and hover over this little drop down. Actually, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose CMA, and then I like the CMA quick view. So I actually print this report by going to print plus, and see here it's asking just to print the current listing. I make sure I say all listings, and then I hit print, but I'm not actually going to print it. So I go through, once I have it printed, I go through each listing. I click on the MLS link, and so I start making notes. I read the description here. I look through the pictures to see, the condition of the home, see if it looks clean, see if it's a foreclosure. This looks like laminate counters, white appliances. If it's got stainless steel, if it's got granite, I make a note of that on the printed report. So otherwise, looks like a decent home. And so I go through every single property that came up in my search. This one's got a pool, so I'll make a note that it has a pool. I read through the description, I take notes. And remember, I'm making notes on my CMA quick view, which is this right here. And so I highlight the status, so I highlight if it's active. I highlight right here where it's price per square foot. I highlight that. And I highlight, if it's sold already, I highlight the sales price. You also want to look at how many days they were on the market. You can compare if some of them, if they're in a neighborhood where some have garages and some don't, you can compare that. You can compare how many bedrooms each one has, the year built, in case you're looking at a neighborhood that's mixed with older ones and newer ones. But I'm going to jump over to where they've actually sold. Okay, so these ones that have sold show you the sale price and what it worked out to be on price per square foot. See that? So make sure you let your seller know that for appraisal purposes, appraisers can only use the properties that have sold. They cannot use the actives and the contingents. So they might say to you, well, what about the house over there on, Greystone Drive? That one's asking $500,000. Well, Mr. Seller, since it hasn't sold, an appraiser's not going to be able to use that. As soon as it does sell and goes to closing, then we can definitely use that in our comparable sales. So again, here you can see the sale price of each of these. You can see what it worked out to on price per square foot. And you can kind of start comparing who had what to be able to come up with a suggested price or a suggested range for your seller. So practice that. If you want to, do a practice CMA, that would be great. You can start to look at different neighborhoods just to get familiar, and that will build up your confidence on doing CMAs here with an MLS.